Hey guys, thanks for joining. Today we are going to build a simple website on S3 which is going to be secure. So without further ado, let's get started. We are going to have all our static content, in our case just an S3 bucket, just an index.html which shows, I'll show you the website right now, which will be hosted on S3, and then it will be fronted by CloudFront, which is nothing but a CDN, it's a distribution network. We're going to use Route53 for our DNS, and all the user requests will be coming from browser. It's very simple, and I'll try to make it as simple as possible for your understanding, and we are going to use IAC with Terraform. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's do a simple demo. The website that we are going to build is it's already built. I'll show you HTTPS and techwithsandy.click. This is the domain I have registered with Route53. If you see, it's a secure domain. It's a secure website. The connection is secure. And when you host a website on S3, it's usually HTTP. So we're going to see how are we going to make it secure. It's a very simple website. You can change the images and all. These are two my pups, Chai and Buddy. So let's see how we do. All right, so we're going to use Terraform to build our website, and we're going to start step by step. This is our main.tf. I'll go through the architecture. I'll go through the website structure shortly. So if you see, I have already run this and the resources are complete. These are my name servers and stuff like that, but we are going to do it again. So let's do a quick Terraform destroy. Auto approve. This is going to destroy everything. Once this is done, you cannot see the website. I'll show you the bucket in the meanwhile. So the bucket we are using is techwithsandy.click, and right now, because our Terraform is getting rid of all the objects, it's destroying. So index.html, error.html is gone. That's the reason it's not over here. I'm sorry, this one. And in order to have a website, the bucket name has to match the domain name. And if we go to our domain, and you'll see my registered domains. I have a registered domain name called techwithsandy.click, and this is what we are going to use. It takes a little bit of time for the CloudFront distribution to get destroyed, so let's wait for it. All right, so let's go over our code. All right, this is our main Terraform file. We're giving a provider. My bucket is going to be in US East 2. However, the ACMs, the certificates can only be created in US East 1. That's why we have an alias created. I'll go through this later on. And this is the data block. Because we already have the S3 bucket created, we're going to use a data block. If you're creating it for the first time, you're confident that your website bucket is not, the website name is not taken up on S3, you can try it with the resource block, but I created my bucket earlier on. However, it is not set up for public. We'll do this in this configuration. Over here, we are creating two resources. One is the index.html and error.html. I do not want to upload it myself, so we are doing it like this. Then over here, I'm going to put this link in the repo so that you guys can go through it yourself. But it's simple. It's enabling the S3 bucket for public access. It's putting a bucket policy that allows read or get objects, and then it applies that bucket to the policy, that policy to the bucket. All right, and there are some depends on clause. It means that you can only put this policy once the public, the block public access is disabled, or else you cannot put it. So there are some depends on clauses, and after that, I will upload the index.file to S3. We are going to upload the error.file to S3. And once that is completed, we are using one bedrock image. You can use whatever image you want. You can replace that with your own. And after that, we'll create the Route53 hosted zone and our certificates, and that's a bunch of stuff later on. However, what I want to do is I want to go step by step. I want to show you how to create the website first, and then we'll make it an HTTPS, a secure website. Okay, in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment out few things, and for your convenience, I have put some comments over here. So the first step is we need to comment this out, because we do not want to create the CloudFront distribution. We do not want to create the certificates in the first go. So let's do that. And once the CloudFront distribution is created, we need to connect the hosted zone with our CloudFront. So because we are not creating the CloudFront, we will do this step later on. All right, so let's kill this. So the only thing that we need is Route53 hosted zone. All right, and this is a module. We are creating a module, and let's go through it. But before that, I want to show you the variables.tf. So our region is US East 2. I'm using an AWS profile. I have different accounts. So one of the accounts is Sandy for Week. That's what we are going to use today. And this one, actually, we do not need it. So we can delete this, honestly. And I can remove this as well. However, we are defining the zone ID over here. That's fine. And let's go to our hosted zone. In our hosted zone, we're going to create an A record, but later on. Okay, right now we just need a zone ID so that we get the name servers, and we have to update those name servers in our Route53 domain register. So right now I'm going to comment this step out as well. We don't need it. And let's go to the variables.tf. These are just the defaults. All right, so this is what we are going to do first. All right, so basically, all right, so our website is deleted. Terraform destroy is completed. It took some time. If you see, it took like around 6 minutes to destroy the CloudFront distribution. If you go to our website again, this might be cached content, but no, it's not. It's gone. So our website is gone, right? That's what we wanted. Now let's start from the scratch. All right, so we have disabled the creation of certificates, and we have disabled the creation of CloudFront. All right, and let's try to run it. So first thing you got to do is Terraform init. This will initialize the modules that we are using, download the necessary files that you need. And after that, if you do a Terraform plan, it will tell you exactly what we are going to build. And we're going to build 7 things. Let's see what it is building. All right, it's creating a resource policy to allow get objects. All right, and we are disabling the block public access. All right, and if you remember, the policy will be applied once this thing takes into effect. All right, and then this is our resource bucket, which is our S3 bucket. This bucket, it will pick it from the data block, which is from our variables.tf. We already have this bucket created. You can either create it in the script, or you can have it pre-created, because I do not want to lose the namespace on S3. It's a global namespace, so I created the bucket beforehand. All right, and this is the object. This is nothing but the image which will be displayed, and this is the error.html, which will be displayed if there is an error, just in case, but the website needs to be up and running for that. This is the index.html, and this is the Route53 public hosted zone which we are going to create. All right, because we do need the name servers to update in our domain registrar. That's why this step is important. I'll show you exactly how to do that. So let's do a Terraform apply auto approve. All right, let's see if it works. I had a lot of issues getting this to run. Hopefully not this time. All right, it's creating the primary zone, Route53 zone, the hosted zone. Let's go to our front end and check what's happening over there. If we go over here, we should see our index.html, and that's right, we got our index.html, error.html, our bedrock.jpg, and if we go to our properties, it's in the US East 2 region. All right, and let's go down. All right, so the static website hosting is enabled now. All right, and let's go to the permission sets, and the block public access is disabled and the policy is applied. So our bucket is set. I think we can even access our bucket from here. There you go. However, this website is not secure. So not secure. And again, this is an S3 endpoint. It's a website endpoint. You don't want this kind of DNS names over there, right? We want something which is user readable, your domain name. So for that, what we did, I showed you earlier, you need to go over here and buy a new domain. You can register it, and it will be $3 to $15 depending upon whether you're taking a .click, .com. It depends. I just wanted something for this demo, so I purchased this tech-with-sandy.click. All right, and once we go inside this, so if you see, these are the name servers. Now our script is going to spit out some name servers from the hosted zone. All right, so when somebody goes to tech-with-sandy.click, these are the name servers that it's using. But right now, these name servers were old name servers for my previous website, so we need to update them. Let's see how we do that. Now, if you go over here, our output is going to display a zone ID, and it's going to display the name servers. Now, this step is very, very important. Without this, your website is not going to work. All right. So what we do is we are going to take these name servers, and we're going to update these name servers one by one. Make sure there are no mistakes. All right. And I'll show you another way to do this. If you go to our Route53 once again, and I'll show you the hosted zone that was created. So if you see, there is another hosted zone, it's public, and it will only have like name servers and an SOA record by default. These are the values that we are trying to put inside our domain registrar. Okay, so we took these two values from our Terraform output, 59 and 38. So 59 and 38, we need the 12. The hour does not matter. And we need 36, I believe. Right? So 12 and 36, if we go back to our code, 36 and 12, as I said, it does not matter. Save changes. All right. Now it's going to take some time. Name server propagation takes some time. And there are two types of, we'll go into the ACM validation after this, but this is the step. There is no, as far as I know, there is no ISC which can do this. That's the reason people usually create the hosted zones earlier. I'm not sure if Terraform can do this step, but this step is the one which we need to do it manually. All right. So I could have done this step after running everything as well, but I just found that this way is much easier and it works 100% of the time. Once the domain name servers are updated, you should get an email, something like this, which says that, okay, your name servers are updated. All right, whichever is your registered email address. Once that is done, we are good to go to the next step. So the next step is to create our CloudFront distribution, because for SSL, for secure website, HTTPS, we do need some kind of service that can do SSL termination, and HTTPS website, a secure website, S3 is not capable of doing that. It is not a server. If you have an EC2 server, you can do that, but S3 cannot do that. So we need to bring something else. In this case, we are going to use our CloudFront distribution. And in order to have a secure website, you need to have a certificate. All right. So we are going to use ACM to create a certificate. So let's go back to our code and see what it is doing. So if you remember, we commented this code out. All right. So we are going to uncomment this code. All right. So what is it doing? It's creating an ACM certificate using a module called as ACM certificate. All right, let's go to that module and see what it is doing. I have another folder called as ACM. Let's open the ACM over here. All right. You'll have this code repo linked, so here you'll see you can do it for yourself. You can utilize it. All right. So we are creating a cert over here. Okay, we are creating a resource called as AWS ACM cert. All right. The domain name, it's picking up from the variable domain name, which is nothing but our website name, the DNS. The validation is DNS. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. There are two types of validation, a DNS validation and email validation. If you do an email validation, you should get an email from your registrar, and you have to click on it, you have to accept it, and that's how you can do a DNS validation. However, in our case, an email validation, and in DNS case, we need to make sure that the name servers are getting validated. Okay, we updated those name servers, and that should be enough for our validation, because the name servers will go through because a certificate has to be valid. All right, and these are just the resources to see, like to make the cert validation on the DNS. It's basically checking for each name server record whether it's passing through or not. All right, and you can read through this. There is a comment on each and every object, like each and every statement, what it is trying to do. I'm not going to go through each and everything. I assume that at least you do have a basic knowledge about these things. All right, and then we call a resource validation for the certification, which is nothing but validating our FQDNs and DNS validation records, and we're just outputting the certificate ARN over here. So that's how we call the ACM certificate. We create an ACM certificate, and very important, we are creating it in US East 1. I'm specifically mentioning it because our bucket is in US East 2, but I cannot create my certificates in US East 2. And that's why I chose a bucket in US East 2. All right, just to show this, no matter where your resources are, the ACM certificates has to be in North Virginia. And again, the domain name and the zone ID, right? The zone ID is nothing but the hosted zone ID, which we are outputting, and we are using it over here. It clearly says use the output from the hosted zone module. Next, we are creating a module called as CloudFront. Okay, from a folder called as CloudFront. Again, this distribution also has to be where your certificate is, which is in US East 1. And we're using, this is the alias, right? We're using alias, but we are also explicitly telling it over here. Now, AWS region, US East 1, domain name, which is our bucket name. All right, the bucket name is, again, it's coming from the bucket. The certificate ARN is coming from here. And because we need the certificate ARN, right, we cannot create these resources. Usually Terraform is very good with implicit dependencies, but it was failing, and it was timing out the validation. So what I did was I specifically mentioned it depends on for the certificate. So this CloudFront distribution is not created until the ACM certificate is created. All right, let's go and check our CloudFront main.tf, what we are doing in our CloudFront. So because we are enabling that now, so this will get called, this module will get called. All right, we are creating an AWS CloudFront distribution called as website. All right, the origin is nothing but the S3 bucket, right? Because you can have an origin as EC2, you can have website running on EC2 or some other API. You can have a bunch of endpoints for this, but one of the endpoints is S3, because we are hosting our website on S3, so S3 is our origin. All right, and then the rest of the config, this is where we are going to enable the CloudFront distribution when it is created. IPv6 is enabled, you don't have to enable it. Default root object is nothing but index.html. So when CloudFront distribution is hit, what is the object from S3 that you want to load? And we want to load index.html. You can name any other HTML file, but index.html is kind of the de facto standard. All right, the alias is the alias. This is where the alias is coming in, which is nothing but US East 1. And you can set up the cache behaviors, the TTL, you can do a bunch of stuff over there. All right, and after that, as I said, the minimum TTL, these are mostly the default values. All right, and restrictions, we are not putting many. You can put geo restrictions. That's another topic for another day. And we are using this certificate, right? This is important. Now we're using the certificate that we created earlier, and that's why we need to have that dependency, right? SSL method, SNI only. This we're using TLS 1.2 2019. I can use 2021. It doesn't matter. As long as it is TLS version 1 and above, it should be good. And tag production, you can name it dev, whatever, whichever environment you're putting it in. And then we are also creating a CloudFront origin access identity. All right, it's default, it's needed. And then we are going to output the CloudFront domain. So that's what our setup is. We are going to run it. Let's see, I'm just going to check it back again. We forgot this step too. That's why I was rechecking everything. We do not have anything commented out over here. And I'm like, as I said, you can run it as one, or you can use Jenkins to run it in 2-3 steps. It's up to you. I'll leave that up to you. I wanted to demo it properly. That's why I'm doing it in 2 steps to show you the DNS validation, how the hosted zone name server records needs to be updated in the registered domain. It's a multi-step process. All right, so we don't have anything commented. This step was supposed to be commented. It is uncommented now. All right, so nothing. Oh, no changes over here. Let's go to our hosted zone. We have to uncomment this. We have to create this one. So this one, what is it doing? It's creating an alias record, an A record alias to point. It's creating an alias record for our website to the CloudFront distribution. This is important because we need to connect both of them. We uncommented that, and I think we are good to go. Fingers crossed. Do a Terraform in it because we have 2 more modules, ACM and CloudFront. So once that is done, you can do a plan. It will show you what it is doing, what it is going to create. So we're creating 6 more resources. What are those? We went through it again. We are going to go through it one more time just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. We're creating a certificate. All right, we are validating it. All right, for tech.sandy, techwithsandy.click, whatever your website name is. Then we're creating a CloudFront distribution. All right, with all the bells and whistles and settings, and we're setting it as S3 as our origin. All right, and then we are going to create an A record, okay, for our zone ID. And that's about it. It usually takes some time to run. Let's see what happens. Fingers crossed. And we are back. So our website is created. It took around 5 minutes 40 seconds, it seems, and it created everything. Don't worry about the warning. It's spitting out the name servers again, and this is our website. So let's go and check it out. HTTPS, and there you go. Earlier it was not working because we destroyed it. Now it's working. It's secure. That's how you build a website on S3. All right, and that's your website. So once again, if you like this content that I made, I don't do it for money or anything. I just want to help people out there, and I hope you like it. If you want me to do a video on any other topic, please let me know. I'll try my best. And this is the PDF you can download. I'll put the link to the repo in the description of the video. And any suggestions about the way I speak, the way I look, the way I talk, the way I create the videos, anything, good, bad, ugly, just put it in the comments. I'll try my best to, listen to you. All right. Thank you so much once again for visiting my channel, and stay tuned for more videos. A lot to come.